Hi, you guys. Lady ReShell here, author of Take Charge of Cancer, founder of Warriors Talk, where we empower individuals to take action that leads to a healthier lifestyle. This is day 29 of our 31 Facts, 31 Days in Recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And our topic for tonight is coping with the fear when faced with cancer. So let's just jump right into our topic. We're on day 39, so we have a couple of more days to go. So I hope that you have been taking notes and gaining knowledge as we are exiting our breast cancer awareness month. And we know breast cancer is not just for the month of October, but it's actually 365, 24/7 that individuals are being diagnosed. So we want to make sure that you are kept up to date on any knowledge as it relates to cancer as well as breast cancer. So learning that you have a life-altering disease such as cancer can change your entire world, right? You may feel anxious, you may feel afraid, you may feel overwhelmed, just thinking about what's to come for the days ahead. The feeling of uncertainty, feeling like you have lost control of your life, right? So you have to find a way to cope with all of those thoughts going through your head. So tonight we're going to talk about some different tips that you can use to help you cope with a cancer diagnosis. So, the first tip is get the facts about your diagnosis. And I always talk about this, and this is actually one of the tips that's in my new book that's coming out, Take Charge of Cancer, is get the facts about your diagnosis. When you have the facts, then you tend to worry less because then you know what you're up against. So, we always talk about writing down the questions when you go to the doctor, right? Make sure you're writing down those important questions that's playing over and over in your mind when you're at home. Either you can record it or you can write it down on a piece of paper, right? You can give it to a friend or a family member that you're going to bring along with you to that appointment. Do not go to that appointment alone because a lot of times what happens is when we go alone and the doctor is telling us stuff, we tend to forget. So you want to make sure that you're always taking someone else with you when you go to these doctor's appointment, right? So just consider how much it is that you want to know. And we talked about this a couple of days ago. Some people want to be all in. They want to know everything. They want to be included in the decision making when it comes to their cancer. And then some people just want the doctor to make all of the decisions. So you think about what works best for you, and then you take that approach. So the second tip that you need to know when you're faced with the fear of a cancer diagnosis is you need to keep the lines of communication open, right? You need to make sure that you're being open and honest with your family members, with your doctor about what's going on after you've started treatment. Share your concerns and your fears. Maintain that line of communication. And what this does, it'll help you from being isolated, feeling like you're by yourself, right? Like you're going through this journey by yourself. Share those emotions with other people. Make sure that you're honest. You gain strength from that support. And we all know that when you're going through a cancer diagnosis, that support is crucial. So the third tip that you need to know when you're facing fears with a cancer diagnosis is anticipate the possible physical changes. And we know that there will be changes when you're going through a cancer diagnosis. So talk to your doctor about what are some of the changes that I need to be worried about, or what are some of the changes that I should be looking out for. And you can also talk to other survivors who have already been through it, right? Get into a support group and get around some individuals who have been where you are and where you're trying to go. And then they're going to help to calm and soothe those fears that you have, because we know that there will be changes. We know when you're doing chemo, you're going to lose your hair, you're going to lose weight, you're going to lose your appetite, right? There are going to be so many different changes going on, so too many for you to keep up with. So if you anticipate it ahead of time by getting the facts, getting the information, then it can kind of calm your fears as you go through the journey. So, the fourth tip that you need to know when you're facing the fear of a cancer diagnosis is even though you have a cancer diagnosis, you still need to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Yes, you do. So, you need to make sure you're eating your fruits, your vegetables, right? You should not be eating a lot of processed foods, right? Try to cut down on anything that's prepackaged so that you can make sure that you're fueling your body with the different nutrients that comes from the fruits and vegetables, right? You want to make sure that you're resetting your system because you're going through that cancer treatment. And believe me, that chemo is wiping out your bad cells and your good cells as well. When you're maintaining a healthy lifestyle while going through cancer and you're putting the right foods in your body, it helps to give you energy, right? To get through the cancer diagnosis. So consider, changing your diet. It's never too late, even though you still have that cancer diagnosis. And we know that the American Heart Society talk about exercising 150 minutes a week. And you can do it 30 minutes a week, 5 days a week, getting some type of exercise. And according to a recent data, when you exercise during treatment, it not only helps you to cope, but it also helps you to live longer. So don't underestimate exercising, right? Get out there, get moving, and get active. So the fifth tip that you need to know when you're facing the fears of a cancer diagnosis, you need to let your friends and family help you. You cannot do this alone. Again, your support is going to be crucial. You should be assembling a team of people that you trust, people that you love, that love you, that's going to be honest with you, and that's going to be able to push you when you feel like giving up. So don't be afraid to allow those people to help you. And I always say, when someone says, how can I help you? Or I want to help you, give them a task to do. Don't be like, oh no, I don't need no help. Oh, I'm okay. No, you're not. No, you're not. And doing a cancer diagnosis, you don't have to be, because you're fighting for your life. So don't be afraid to accept help, right? And also, when you have a family member that's a caregiver, right? When you have a caregiver, don't burn those caregivers out. So if you're a caregiver and you're taking care of somebody with cancer, then make sure that you're including other people in on the process of you taking care of them, whether they're running to the store for you, whether they're picking up the kids for you, whether they're preparing a meal and dropping it off at the house to give you a break so that you won't have caregivers burnout. Oh yes, it's such a thing, right? So let's move on to number 6. When you're going through a cancer diagnosis and you're facing your fears, the future can look really bleak, right? You can be like, I don't have a future, right? Going through a cancer diagnosis, where's the future in that? Especially when you've seen so much death around a cancer diagnosis. So you feel like your future is out the window. Review your goals and your priorities. What is important to you? Those are the things that you need to focus on, right? Whatever gives you meaning, whatever brings you joy, whoever brings you joy, focus on those things. Cancer not only affects you, it affects everybody in the entire family, your friends, your loved ones, your coworkers. It affects everybody. And so you need to make sure that you are prioritizing those people in your life, right? Make sure that the lines of communication is open. When it's open and you're talking to your loved ones, it helps reduce the fears. It helps reduce the anxiety because you're not carrying that weight by yourself. So make a list, if you have to, of the things that you like and the people you want to hang with, some of the things you want to reach. Make a goal list, things I want to accomplish, while battling cancer, things I want to accomplish after my cancer diagnosis. It's important to prioritize because right now time is of the essence and you don't have time to waste because cancer is not going to wait for you to prioritize. So number 7, talk to other people that has had a cancer diagnosis. So the American Cancer Society is so good about this, right? So start with them. They have a cancer society, they have a network where they will connect you with an individual who has the same diagnosis as you, very similar as you, and they've been through similar to what you're going to go to, almost to the T. And they hook you up with these people so that they can talk to you and about what's going to go on, what's to come. And then it can kind of calm your fears because now okay, yeah, I'm going to lose my hair, but guess what? It's going to grow back. Oh yeah, my skin is going to get dark, but guess what? It's going to get back to its natural color. Guess what? My nails are going to get black and some of them may fall off, but guess what? They're going to grow back. Yeah, I'm going to lose weight, but guess what? You're going to get that weight back once you're able to get your appetite back and you're able to eat. So make sure that you are talking to other people who have dealt with a cancer diagnosis and they are on the other side and they are thriving because there's so many out there. There is 3.8 million breast cancer survivors in the world today that are thriving. And then there's 16.9 million cancer survivors worldwide in the US that are thriving. right? They're thriving. So you don't have to do this alone. There are other people out there that have gone before you, that have survived, and now they're out here advocating for other individuals to be healed. So, number 8, when you're going through a cancer diagnosis and you're facing your fears, is to develop your own coping strategy. You have to have a way that you cope with the fears. Whenever you go to the doctor, you got to take a scan, you got to do a blood test, you know, you're not feeling well, and it's been lasting longer than 2 weeks. So now you're in the doctor's office, you're sitting in a chair or you're sitting on the table and you like, your heart is beating crazy, you're nervous, and the doctor is like, what's going on? And you're like, oh, I'm nervous, I'm scared. You have to find a way to cope with that, right? Whether it be having spiritual support, whether it be meditating, whether it be talking to someone you love, whether it be listening to some type of music that helps you calm down, right? Practice some type of coping mechanism that will help you cope when you are feeling very anxious, because it doesn't help with your healing, right? We know that stress does not help with your healing, but it actually fuels those cancer cells to grow. So you have to make sure that you are finding ways that you can cope and manage your stress. A journal is a good way to do it. Write down your thoughts, right? Write them down, and then you would be surprised when you're out of the cancer diagnosis and you go back and read that, and you'd be like, oh my God, was I feeling like that, right? And I always tell people to journal and then take a lot of pictures and do a lot of videos, because you want to go back and look at all of that and see how far you have come. And believe me, like some of the stuff I don't even remember when I'm done. I don't remember like a lot of the stuff that I went through, because I had tunnel vision when I was going through my treatment, and I was just trying to just get through this treatment, right? So make sure that you're journaling, make sure you're taking pictures, make sure that you're videoing, make sure you're including other people in on your journey so that they can be a part of your healing. Make sure you're being open and honest, and you're communicating with the people that you love so that they know what to expect, because things change. Your body is changing, your mind is changing. So you need to make sure that you are being open and honest with people, especially your doctor, right? So there's so many things that you can do to cope with the fear of a cancer diagnosis. Don't ever feel like you are alone. There's so many different support groups out here that are willing and able and have their arms open, waiting for individuals to come in, and not only to share, but to hear the stories of the survivors. Is everything going to be pretty? Oh no, everything is not always going to be pretty. But you'll hear how some of them cope and how some of them have gotten through their cancer diagnosis. So know that you are not alone. So you never have to suffer in silence. There's so many of us out here that are willing to pick up the phone when you call, or do a FaceTime, or send you a gift basket or something just to put a smile on your face, so you don't have to do it alone. So find ways that you can cope with your cancer diagnosis that is healthy for you. We don't want to be drinking. We don't want to do drugs. We don't want to do anything that's toxic that's going to get in our bodies and that's going to interfere with our healing. So make sure whatever coping mechanisms that you use, they are healthy for your body. So this is day 29, and we just talked about coping with fear when faced with cancer. Is there going to be fear? Absolutely. And we know that God did not give us the spirit of fear, but by us being human and wearing these fleshly bodies, fear is going to happen. But it's how you deal with that fear, right? You don't have to let the fear override you. Let your faith override that fear. So when fear shows up, then you have to know how to handle fear and put fear in its place, right? Put fear in its place. Fear should not have a big center place, a big chair in the front of your life. No, you put fear in this place when it shows up. All right, so day 29, coping with fear with a cancer diagnosis. I hope that you guys have been enjoying the 31 days, 31 facts in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm so excited to just share my wisdom with you guys. I'm learning as I'm doing these 29 days. I don't know everything, but I'm learning as I go along. And the more and more that I get into the facts and the information about cancer, the stronger I become in my purpose. So just thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow is day 30, so I'm so excited. And I announced that my book is coming out November the 1st, which is Take Charge of Cancer. I'm excited about that as well, because it's going to help individuals newly diagnosed with cancer just answer some of the questions that they have and calm some of their fears. That's really what it's all about, is when somebody else go through cancer, that we are supposed to pass on that wisdom to somebody else and help advocate for somebody else to let them know that they too can make it just like we did. Believe me, I called on some people when I was going through my cancer diagnosis, and they were able to help me to calm my fears and say, you know what, I've been through that, I've done that, and guess what, you can make it. So I'm telling you, from one warrior to another, that you can make it. This is Lady ReShell, author of Take Charge of Cancer, founder of Warriors Talk, where we empower individuals to take action that leads to a healthier lifestyle.